Hello students, in this video I want to give you some tricks to solve the questions related to this chapter, that is aerobic respiration especially first. Okay, so the question is, when one molecule of glucose undergoes oxidation through aerobic respiration, how many ATPs will be formed? Find the total number of ATPs formed, find the total number of ATP formed and find the net gain of ATP and find the ATP formed, number of ATP formed through SLP only, and find the number of ATP formed through OP only. The SLP is substrate level phosphorylation, we already studied in previous videos, and OP is oxidative phosphorylation. Okay, let's find. So, one molecule of glucose undergoes complete oxidation through aerobic respiration. That means it undergoes complete oxidation through glycolysis, link reaction and Krebs cycle. By the end of Krebs cycle, energy is released in the form of ATP, NADH2 and FADH2. NADH2 and FADH2 undergoes oxidation through ETS. So, complete total number of ATP formed through the aerobic oxidation we have to find. So, total number of ATP formed is 40. Net gain is 38. Let's see how this total number of ATP formed is 40. So, among these 40, number of ATP formed through SLP only is 6. Number of ATP formed through oxidative phosphorylation only is 34. So 34 plus 6 is 40. Let's see how this 6 ATP are formed, where these 6 ATPs are formed and where these 34 ATPs are formed. Right. So 6 ATPs because during glycolysis 4 ATPs are formed, that is at the 7th step 2 ATPs and at 10th step 2 ATPs are formed, and during Krebs cycle 2 ATPs are formed, that is at 7th step. For one cycle of Krebs cycle 1 ATP and for another cycle of Krebs cycle 2 ATPs. For one molecule of glucose we have to consider 2 cyclic pathways of Krebs cycle. Why? Because glucose undergoes partial oxidation into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid by the end of glycolysis. Those 2 molecules of pyruvic acid enters into mitochondrial matrix where they undergo oxidative decarboxylation to form 2 molecules of acetyl coenzyme A. These 2 molecules of acetyl coenzyme A undergo complete oxidation by the end of Krebs cycle. So, by undergoing 2 turns of Krebs cycle. So, number of ATP formed through SLP only is 6. Where 4 ATPs are forming from glycolysis and 2 ATPs are forming through Krebs cycle. So, among these 4 ATPs, 2 ATPs are released at 7th step and 2 ATPs are released at 10th step through SLP. That is nothing but substrate level phosphorylation or direct formation of ATP. Now coming to ATP formed through OP only, oxidative phosphorylation only. So wherever oxidative phosphorylation occurs, that is either in glycolysis or link reaction or Krebs cycle, there is release of either NADH2 or FADH2. Okay, so during glycolysis, how many NADH2s are released per one molecule of glucose breakdown? 2 NADH2s. During link reaction 2 and during Krebs cycle 6 NADH2s. So totally how many NADH2s? 10 NADH2s. And during Krebs cycle 2 FADH2s are also formed. 1 NADH2 is equals to 3 ATP. So 10 NADH2 into 3 ATP is 30 ATP. 30 ATP are formed through NADH2. And then 4 ATPs are formed through FADH2. During Krebs cycle, 2 ATPs are released. 2 FADH2 are released. 1 FADH2 is equals to 2 ATP. So 2 FADH2 into 2 ATP is 4. So 30 plus 4, 34 ATPs which are formed through oxidative phosphorylation only. So 34 plus 6 ATP, totally 40 ATP, but the net gain of ATP is 38. Why 38? Because 2 ATPs are consumed where during glycolysis, that too in the first step of glycolysis and third step of glycolysis. In the first step 1 ATP is consumed, in the third step 1 ATP is consumed. So 40 minus 2 is 38 net gain of ATP. So in the same way, different types of substrates, glucose 6-phosphate. So the question here is now, next question is, when one molecule of glucose 6-phosphate undergoes breakdown through aerobic respiration, how many, find the total number of ATPs formed, find the net gain of ATP and find the number of ATP formed through SLP only and find the number of ATP formed through oxidative phosphorylation only. SLP is substrate level phosphorylation, OP is oxidative phosphorylation. Right. So total number of ATP formed is 40. Let's see how this is 40. Okay, in the same way through SLP6 as we discussed for glucose. In the same way through OP34. But here, so together 6 plus 34, 40 total number. But here net gain is 39. Why net gain is 39? Because only one ATP is consumed. Why only one ATP is consumed during glycolysis? Where from we have to start calculating? We have to start calculating from glucose 6-phosphate. Actually, when glucose undergoes oxidation, we are saying that 2 molecules of ATP is consumed. But now we are saying that only 1 molecule of ATP is consumed during the oxidation of 1 molecule of glucose 6-phosphate. So, glycolysis, let's study the glycolysis, beginning steps of glycolysis. Glucose undergoes phosphorylation into glucose 6-phosphate in the first step. There 1 ATP is consumed. So here we are starting with glucose 6-phosphate, and hence the ATP which is consumed during the conversion of glucose into glucose 6-phosphate should not be considered. So how many ATPs are consumed now? Only 1 ATP, where during the conversion of fructose 6-phosphate into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. So only 1 ATP is consumed. So 40 minus 1. So net gain of ATP is 39. Right. Now coming to next question. If one molecule of, that is substrate, one molecule of fructose 1,6-bisphosphate undergoes oxidation through aerobic respiration, find the total number of ATP formed, find the net gain of ATP, and find the number of ATP formed through SLP only, and find the number of ATP formed through oxidative phosphorylation only. Okay, so here also total number of ATP formed is 40. In the same way as we discussed for glucose 6-phosphate and even for glucose. Here total number of through SLP6 and through OPS 34, as in case of glucose and glucose 6-phosphate in the same way. But here net gain is also 40. Total number is 40, net gain is also 40. Why? Because here there is no consumption of ATP, and hence total number of ATP formed is 40 and net gain is also 40. Why there is no consumption of ATP? Because we have to calculate from fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Before the formation of fructose 1,6-bisphosphate itself, 2 ATPs are consumed, where in the first step and third step. What is first step? Conversion, that is phosphorylation of glucose into glucose 6-phosphate. Second step is isomerization of glucose 6-phosphate into fructose 6-phosphate. In the first step, 1 ATP is consumed. Now the third step, that is conversion, that is phosphorylation of fructose 6-phosphate into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. There 1 more ATP is consumed. So as we are calculating from fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, from here all the reactions, in all the preceding reactions, that is glycolysis, link reaction, Krebs cycle, if we see, there is no consumption of ATP, and hence total number of ATP formed is 40, and even net gain of ATP is also net gain of ATP is also 40. Right. Next substrate is DHAP or PGL. Where this DHAP is present actually? So fructose 1,6-bisphosphate undergoes cleavage into, actually fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is 6-carbon compound. It undergoes cleavage into, during glycolysis, it undergoes cleavage into 2 molecules of 3-carbon compounds. One is DHAP and the other one is 3-PGAL. Both of these DHAP, dihydroxyacetone phosphate, and 3-PGAL, that is 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, both are interconvertible isomers. Now we are calculating for only 1 molecule of DHAP, not 2 molecules. 1 molecule of DHAP or 1 molecule of PGAL. So if we calculate for 2 molecules, we get 40. As we are calculating for 1 molecule, we get 20. How? Total number of ATP formed is 20. Through SLP, 6. Half the number, 6. And through OP, oxidative phosphorylation also, 17. Half the number of ATP formed for these 3 substrates during the oxidation of these 3 substrates. Okay, let's see how. So 3 ATP through SLP. How? 2 ATP are released during glycolysis, that is during the 7th step of glycolysis 1 ATP, in the 10th step of glycolysis 2nd ATP, and in the 7th step of Krebs cycle 1 ATP. So total number is 3. Here we are calculating for only 1 molecule. As we are calculating for 1 molecule, 1 cycle of glycolysis, 1 cycle of link reaction, 1 cycle of Krebs cycle we have to consider. So in 1 cycle of glycolysis 2 ATPs, Here in one cycle of glycolysis we have taken 4. So here in one cycle 2 ATPs and in one cycle of Krebs cycle 1 ATP. So total number of ATP formed through SLP only, substrate level phosphorylation only, that is direct formation of ATP, is 3. Whereas in case of oxidative phosphorylation, here also we have to calculate for only one molecule. That means one cycle of glycolysis. One cycle of glycolysis means only one NADH2. And one cycle of link reaction, 1 NADH2. One cycle of Krebs cycle, 3 NADH2s. So totally 5 NADH2s. 1 NADH2 is equals to 3 ATP. So 5 into 3 ATP. How many ATPs? 15 ATPs. Along with ATP, along with NADH2, FADH2 is also released during Krebs cycle. How many FADH2s? 1 FADH2. But if we are taking 2 cycles, we have to take 2 FADH2s. But here only 1 cycle, because only one molecule of DHAP or 3PGL is undergoing oxidation. So 15 ATP plus 2 ATP. 15 ATP in the form of NADH2 and 2 ATP in the form of one molecule of FADH2. So totally 17, 17 plus 3, ultimately 20. So 20, total number of ATP formed is 20 and net gain of ATP is also 20 because we have to calculate from DHAP. So from DHAP means there is no consumption of ATP. So total number of ATP formed is equals to the number of ATP, which is net gain. Okay, next coming to 1,3-bis PGA. Total number of ATP formed is 17 here. Let's see how. Okay, actually what happens, PGAL, one molecule of PGL undergoes oxidative phosphorylation into 1,3-bis phosphoglyceric acid. So during this step, oxidation is taking place. When oxidation is taking place, what happens? Protons and electrons are released. Those protons and electrons are picked up by NAD+, so that NAD+ is reduced into NADH2. That is happening before the formation of 1,3-bis PGA. That is during the formation of PGL into 1,3-bis PGA. Now we have to consider from 1,3-bis PGA. We have to leave all the steps which are taking place before the formation of 1,3-bis PGA, and hence we have to leave 1 NADH2 which is formed during glycolysis. So now let's see the number of ATP which are formed through OP only when one molecule of 1,3-bis phosphoglyceric acid undergoes oxidation through aerobic respiration. So in glycolysis, no NADH2. Because we should not consider the NADH2 which is formed during the conversion of PGAL into 1,3-bis phosphoglyceric acid. We have to consider from only the reactions which are taking place after the formation of 1,3-bis PGA. So now in link reaction 1 NADH2, in Krebs cycle 3 NADH2. So totally 4 NADH2s. 1 NADH2 is equals to 3 ATP. So 4 3s are 12 ATPs. Now in Krebs cycle 1 FADH2. So 1 FADH2 is equals to 2 ATP. So 12 ATP plus 2 ATP. So 12 plus 2, that is 12 plus 2, that is 14. So 14 ATP are formed through OP only. Now through SLP in the same way 3 ATP because 2 ATP during glycolysis, because 1,3-bis PGA undergoes phosphorylation into 3-PGA. There one phosphorylation is taking place. 1 ATP is formed by direct formation of ATP or through SLP. So 2 molecules of ATP during glycolysis and 1 molecule of ATP during Krebs cycle. So 3 ATPs through SLP. So 14 plus 3, 17. Total number of ATP formed is 17. And the net gain is also 17 because there is no consumption of ATP here also. Next coming to 3-PGA. When one molecule of 3-PGA undergoes oxidation through aerobic respiration, what happens with respect to all these conditions? So, right, total number of ATP formed is 16. Let's see how the 16 ATPs are formed. So, ATPs formed through SLP is 2 molecules of ATPs formed. Why we are taking 2 molecules? Because during the formation of 3-PGA, 3-phosphoglyceric acid from 1,3-bis phosphoglyceric acid, 1 ATP is formed during glycolysis. So we should not consider that ATP which is formed during the conversion of 1,3-bis PGA into 3-PGA. That means which is released before the formation of 3-PGA, 3-phosphoglyceric acid. We have to consider all the reactions which are taking place after 3-PGA. So after 3-PGA, how many ATPs are formed? Only 1 ATP. That is during 10th step. So 1 ATP during glycolysis and 1 ATP during Krebs cycle. That is at the 7th step of Krebs cycle. So 2 ATPs are formed through SLP, and how many ATPs are formed through OP only? 14. In the same way, in link reaction 1 NADH2, in Krebs cycle 3. So 4 NADH2s and 1 FADH2 during Krebs cycle. So 4 NADH2 into 3 ATP is 12 ATP, 1 FADH2 is 2 ATP. So 12 plus 2 ultimately 4. So 4 plus 2, how many ATPs total number? 16, and net gain is also same because there is no consumption of ATP. So now coming to PEP. PEP is same as in case of 3-PGA, 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Now coming to pyruvic acid. So here during the conversion of pyruvic acid into during the conversion of phosphoenol pyruvic acid into pyruvic acid, dephosphorylation occurs. This is the 10th step of glycolysis where 1 ATP is formed through SLP or through direct formation of ATP. So here the reactions which are taking place before pyruvic acid should not be considered. The reactions which are taking place after pyruvic acid should be considered. So we should not consider SLP here, SLP of glycolysis. So now here through SLP, how many ATPs are formed? Pyruvic acid, only 1 ATP, where during Krebs cycle. During Krebs cycle, we are not considering the number of ATP formed during glycolysis, because by the end of glycolysis only pyruvic acid is formed, 1 pyruvic acid. If it is 2 pyruvic acids, 2 molecules of ATP. That is only during Krebs cycle, not during glycolysis. So now coming to ATP is formed through OP, oxidative phosphorylation. In the same way, in link reaction 1 NADH2, in during Krebs cycle 3 NADH2, 4 NADH2 equals to 12 ATP, and during Krebs cycle 1 FADH2, that is equals to 2 ATP. So 12 plus 2, 14 ATP plus 1 through SLP. So totally 15 ATPs, and net gain is also 15 because there is no consumption of ATP. So this is the way we need to solve the questions, and in the question you have to observe whether it is given for 1 molecule or 2 molecules. Suppose if the question is given for 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, when if the question is like 2 molecules of pyruvic acid undergoes oxidation through aerobic respiration, find the total number of ATP formed. Find the total number of net gain of ATP. Find the number of ATP formed through SLP only. So 2 molecules means double the number. 2 molecules means here 30, here 30. 2 ATPs through SLP only, 15 ATPs through 2 ATPs through SLP only, 28 ATPs through OP only. So 28 plus 2, 30. Here 30, here 30. So like this is the way we need to solve the questions regarding aerobic respiration. And we need to observe the question very carefully. We need to read the question carefully, whether it is given for 1 molecule of the given substrate, or 2 molecules or 3 molecules, whatever the number of substrate molecules given in the question. Based on that we need to solve. And in the same way you can make all this total number of ATP, net gain, ATP formed through SLP only, OP only for remaining substrates. What are the remaining substrates, remaining intermediates which are formed during aerobic respiration? Acetyl coenzyme A, because pyruvic acid enters into mitochondrial matrix where it undergoes oxidative decarboxylation, that is nothing but link reaction, by the end of which acetyl coenzyme A is formed. That acetyl coenzyme A enters into cyclic pathway of Krebs cycle. So we need to find the number of ATP for acetyl coenzyme A. In the same way, by using these tricks you can practice. Right, for acetyl CoA you practice, then citric acid, cis-saccharic acid, isocitric acid, oxalosuccinic acid, then alpha ketoglutaric acid. After that what will be formed? Succinyl CoA, succinic acid, then fumaric acid, malic acid. Like this you can calculate with any type of intermediate which is formed during aerobic respiration. So here I want to discuss 2 more questions related to respiration, but that is with respect to anaerobic respiration. Till now we discussed about the questions related to aerobic respiration. Okay, now the question is, when 1 molecule of glucose undergoes oxidation through anaerobic respiration, what is the net gain of ATP? That is 2 ATP. Why 2 ATP? Because during glycolysis, how many ATPs are formed through SLP? Through SLP, 4 ATPs are formed. At 7th step 2 ATPs, at 10th step 2 ATPs, we discussed just now. And through OP, how many NADH2s are released? 2 NADH plus H plus, or we can call it as NADH2. Right, 2 NADH2s are released. So now these 2 NADH2s which are released through glycolysis, during glycolysis, are utilized during fermentation, whether it is alcoholic fermentation or lactic acid fermentation. And among 4 ATPs which are released during glycolysis, 2 ATPs are consumed in glycolysis itself, that is in the first step of glycolysis and third step of glycolysis. So what is the net gain of ATP now? 2 ATPs. Only 2 ATPs net gain, right? Okay, suppose if the substrate is glucose 6-phosphate. So when one molecule of glucose 6-phosphate undergoes oxidation through anaerobic respiration, find the total number of ATP formed and net gain of ATP. So total number of ATP will be, I am writing here total number. Total number of ATP will be 4 and net gain of ATP will be 3. Here in this case for glucose, total number of ATP formed is 4 and net gain of ATP is 2. Why 3 here? Okay, let's discuss. So here total number of ATP formed is 4, that we know at 7th step and 10th step of glycolysis. At 7th step 2 and 10th step 2. So total number is 4. Now why net gain is 3? 3 because only 1 ATP is consumed. Among 4 ATPs formed, only 1 ATP is consumed. Why 1 ATP? We are calculating from glucose 6-phosphate. During the conversion of glucose into glucose 6-phosphate, that is during the phosphorylation of glucose into glucose 6-phosphate, 1 ATP is consumed. Now we should not consider that ATP which is consumed during consumed during the phosphorylation of glucose into glucose 6-phosphate. We need to consider the reactions which are taking place after glucose 6-phosphate. So only 1 ATP is consumed, but only 1 ATP is consumed when the glucose 6-phosphate undergoes oxidation through anaerobic respiration. Okay, so 4 minus 1, how many ATPs? 3 ATPs net gain. So like this we need to calculate the questions based upon the given substrate and also based upon the number of molecules of the given substrate in the question. So this is all about this chapter, respiration in plants. Hope you understood this chapter, all the concepts of this chapter very well. Go through all the videos one by one, grab the concepts and solve all the objectives of different types of materials of different institutes, branded institutes, and I assure that with these concepts and with these tricks you can solve any type of question. Thank you students.